Hello everybody, Mailman here. August is a tough month for hog sightings for me. Stalking. What you have is a few situations that have changed it. We're going to talk about those. Coyote pups are out though, so if you can go after coyotes, get out after them. But I went hog hunting last night. I stayed persistent. I went after them. My wheat fields are dried up. That's the first problem. And what has happened, June and July is great for the wheat fields. Most of that wheat is gone, so they're not hitting it consistently. Deer hunters are starting to bait. They're starting to get ready for deer season. Those hogs are finding those feeders and they're staying off of your property for a while. They're going after those feeders, so that's going to pull them off there a while. When I scheduled this vacation in December, I did not look at the moon. 90 to 100% illumination all week. 9:30, the moon's coming up. Moon's going down about 5:30 in the morning. Tough situation out there in these fields at night. Also, the weeds are up. The fields are high. The farmers are starting to cut again. Maybe their second or third cutting. So those fields are high, and you're going to see the cause of that. We got about knee-high fields, but there's areas that are about big as a car. Some of them are big as a bus. Just areas with the big, tall weeds that have already shot up, and we had to deal with that tonight. So what I did, I hit it out there with the X-Sight from ATN, and what I did was I went from field to field to field. I checked so many fields last night. I finally went back to my most productive field that hasn't paid off in a while. I knew there was going to be hogs in there somewhere, but what I did is I wanted to change it up. Sometimes you just got to change things up. Normally I pull into the gate, I'll stand on the gate, or I'll get up on my truck and I'll get a higher look into the field. What I did is I took my scanner, I went on about 60 to 70 yards to the right on the highest part of the wood line, so I could look down in those nooks and crannies, look in those drainage dishes, and see different areas that I can't see where I normally scan from. Got down there and I seen one heat signature. I was waiting to identify it. It was right over top the ridge. Didn't know exactly what it was, but I kept hearing grunting and I call it purring to my right. And what happened is, in August, in summer, you'll have hogs, and it's so thick now. In August, the vegetation is at its highest. The leaves are at its highest. The weeds are at its highest in the woods, and the weeds in the fields are high. As hogs feed, they're kind of like turkeys. They call to each other. Especially the sow will call and make noises so that the sows know where the mother is. So this sow's going around through the field and she's making that noise that I heard, and I've heard it before. It's a constant grunt, or constant, almost a purring, like a turkey purrs. And what I did is I peeked down around the side and I caught that one hog. Slid back, got my 6.5 Grindle Bear Creek Arsenal, slid in there again, right where I seen the hog. Did not see it anymore, but what I did is I started with my ears. I started to move in until I heard it. Then I looked in those weeds and I found it. I found that one hog, and then there was another hog with it that I could see. So the first hog's moving away, and I'm actually looking through the X-Sight, and I may be able to pull up some video here. I could see the weeds moving. I could see with my thermal bits and pieces, but I could see the weeds moving in my X-Sight. I'm looking at that one hog. The bigger hog comes in. The littler hog comes second. Now, I'm saying to myself, I might as well just take the second hog if it comes out into the opening. It's a tough situation with an X-Sight. So I finally catch an eyeball, and I'm waiting for a clear shot to make sure it's a hog, 100%, and catch that nice video for you. Sitting there watching, and I concentrate on that one spot, and I lock my tripod into place, and I look up, and I hear that noise again. So that noise keys me in to that direction to look. And that sow was circling back around, and she came right up behind me within 5 yards. Came right beside me. You're going to see in the footage, me aiming, you're going to have the front weeds really close in front of you. But if you look closely, you're going to see this sow about 5 yards away from me behind these weeds. So what I start to do is I start to track that sound, and I track her with my thermal. So I'm looking with my thermal, moving the X-Sight at the same time, and I get ahead to that hole. It's almost like hunting deer, and you see that deer moving along, you pick that hole, and when that hog hits that hole, or when that deer hits that hole, you take the shot. That sow comes right up in there, moves into that area, and I take the shot. So listen for that sound sometimes. A lot of times I catch noises that get me that hog. Another thing I hear a lot on this particular field is there's barbed wire fence the whole way around it to keep the cows out of this field. And what I'll hear is I'll hear the barbed wire. When a hog goes underneath that barbed wire, I'll hear that noise of that barbed wire going up and coming down. Here comes the hogs. So you can get animals if you listen a lot. Just listen for them. You'll hear those pigs. Pigs make a lot of noise. Listen for those, key in on them. Hope you learned something from this video. Thanks for liking and subscribing. On our way to 100. I think we're at 80 right now, so we're going to get it. Stay tuned for much more football season that's coming up too, so get ready for those football videos.